Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Markiplier's Distractible. This week, the malevolent, muscular, majestic, magnetic Mark invites two meager, melodramatic misanthropes, Wob and Bade, or something like that, to bask in his tour de force. The merciful, multi-talented, majestic one is merry and memorable as he meanders through his mental makeup, motivating many. From Mark being manifestly marketable to Mark being maddeningly mercurial. Yes, it's time for Markiplier and Friends. Now sit back and prepare to be distracted and enjoy the show.
Yes, hello and welcome to Markiplier and Friends, the podcast. Thank you, Baltimore, for the lovely assist there. I'm sure that you gave me glowing introduction, and I always appreciate you being here for my podcast, which this is. Welcome. Thank you so much for listening to Markiplier and Friends. And I have many friends, so you're probably wondering, like, oh, which friends could you possibly be talking about? Well, I looked around at my many friends, and I said, you two will do. So I'm joined today by Random Friend 1 and Random Friend 2. What are your names again?
Doesn't matter.
Do we have to talk?
No, I mean, you could just leave it all to me. Anyway, it is my show after all.
Yeah, it's true. It is your show.
Yeah. We haven't changed the official art yet, but that's on the way. I haven't changed the official art yet. Placeholder stuff, all very temporary, will be addressed very soon.
Are you going to explain the format there, Mr.
Format? It's a talk show. I am the host, as I always am and always will be.
And what do we do?
Huh?
Why are we here, Mark?
What to talk? So I can talk about my favorite subjects and you guys can listen.
No, so we're not here to talk.
Well, I mean, if I need some hilarious banter or something like that, I guess I could. Well, I mean, I would be the source of the hilarious banter, but then I guess you guys could be the laugh track. Not yet.
Okay.
I knew you wouldn't be good at that job, but... Well, anyway, on today's show, I'm going to be the lovely host talking about some of my favorite things that definitely no one ever hates me talking about, and I talk about them because I like talking about them because they're my passions. And so if I want to talk about the new 60 terabyte NVMe SSD that's coming out very soon, then I'm going to talk about that. I can't wait for it. Anyway, but before I do, I might as well. I am a gracious and good host, so I'm going to allow a moment for my friends, to tell me about their days. How are your days?
Oh, doing just well. Appreciate you asking. Thanks, bud.
I woke up at 3:40 this morning. It's been a long day already somehow. It's only like noon. Still on day.
I woke up at 11:20 this morning, so it's been about an hour.
Wow.
Look, if this bit is the one thing that gets Wade to put foam up on his walls, then honestly, it might be the most productive episode we've ever had.
How dare you? I've already got panels ready to go. I'm just getting more ready.
Stick them up in random orientations behind you on the wall, I beg.
Then I have to undo it later again, and I don't want...
But the bit.
Look, they're already in random... I don't know if you can see. They're already in random orientation.
This same thing happened to Amy and I, because I got a new TV, because the TV we had started to like get this line down the middle of it, like in the left third of it. Just this big line. It's actually been that way for a year, and I haven't gotten a new one. I was playing Elden Ring with a line that was growing bigger and bigger every day.
The line was a secret mini boss that was coming to get you.
Yeah, I know, right? It was very scary, very immersive. But then I was... I basically said, all right, fine, I'm going to get a new TV. And so we got it. And this is my fault because I bought it off Amazon, okay? Because I don't even know where to buy a TV these days. But I bought it off Amazon and I paid for like the installation, right? Because sometimes you can get like local install on these. And I paid for it. And then when the guys show up, they are there, they come down and they bring it inside and they're like, all right, sign here. And I go, but I paid for the installation. And they go, look at the thing. No, you didn't.
That sounds like my dishwasher.
Look at the order, the purchase, the whatever PO, and they're like, installation. Nah, he didn't.
Nah.
See, I told you.
Oh, God.
What it was they were actually very nice. I didn't have any problem with them, like, not Lowe's people. But they brought it in and they were like, oh, no, you got the unboxing, which is not installation, because I had a wall mount.
Who would want that?
Yeah, I know. I thought it was like the full installation would apply because I had a wall mount already. I just needed to take it off the other TV and get this one off, get this one on, and I couldn't do it alone because it's a big ass TV. So they were very kind, and they called up customer service, and even like the delivery drivers have to wait in line for customer service because they got me refunded for the installation. So I really do appreciate what they were doing. But they were in my house for like 30 minutes standing around, and I kept thinking the whole time,
we could have just done this.
yeah, if I give these guys like 100 apiece, could we do this? Like,
literally, can one of you just hold the side of the TV that's up there and take it down with me? And then once I have the bracket on the new one, just lift the new one up and slap it on there real quick? Or
yeah, it was actually like there were 3 of us because there's 2 guys delivering, and I'm like, between the 3 of us, one of us could be on the phone, 2 of us could be doing this. I'll be on the phone. I feel like that should be my job anyway.
You could have offered them your emergency fund hanging TV cash. I always keep a few extra hundred around just in case I need to pay someone under the table to hang a TV. You never know when you might need it.
It's not under the table. It's all. It's completely over the table. You know, cash is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Wink.
Yeah.
Hey. Non-watchers are going to be offended by that, Wade. He winked. You gotta say wink when you do that.
They can read it. It'll be on subtitles or something.
As host, I declare a new rule for Will to give him more work, and Sam. Every time one of us winks, you must put in this sound. Wink. And then, so everyone at home knows who's not watching that we're winking.
We need a whole library of Mark alt text, like descriptions, just to be like, he took a sip of a drink.
Rolling eyes.
Bob is raising his hand. But all in Mark's voice. It's extra work for you.
You have to get Robot Mark for that one.
Have you heard of the shit?
The TV is now still sitting in my living room.
Just leaned up against the wall under the old one.
Well, it's on its stand it came with, but it's in front of the fireplace. So
if only you had and friends to help you.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, but I have and friends to help me here. How else is your lives?
There's more trash on the floor behind me this time than there was before. So that's progress. Unpacking feels awful, man. You start with a room full of boxes and it's kind of messy. And the moment you start opening boxes, it's like shit just goes everywhere. You pull things out and you're like, I don't know where this goes. I don't know where this goes. The floor, I guess. And there's nowhere to put stuff because everything's covered in boxes.
Everywhere. My office is covered in the little like command strip tape removal things.
Do you not have a trash can? I've done that. You just put them in the trash can, they stay in there.
For some reason, I was like, I'll get a trash can in my office after I get it foamed up. Is like my punishment for not getting it done. So I've been cutting up some of the foam panels to like fit there's like the wall is just not 1 foot enough to where there was like a gap like yay big, and I was like, I can't just leave that gap. So I've got my like foam cut panels where I cut sections off to squeeze into the gap.
Oh lordy, what did you cut those with? Safety scissors?
Safety scissors?
Let's show the cut. The cut's all curvity worvity.
These are bigger safety scissors.
Those are unsafe scissors. Oh boy, you need a straight edge, my friend. Tell you what, look at my ass.
Oh, what's wrong with this cut?
No,
that's
not that way.
There you go.
Oof.
Yeah, no, I could see why you did that. That's gonna make a really nice, neat line on the edge.
Well, I oversized the cut slightly, then I just cram it in, so when it expands, you don't even need another command strip to hold it.
So once you cram it in after the first week it's up there, it'll start to really bow away from the wall because it's gonna be pushed in from the edge. It'll be perfect.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait. Like, you know how I was on a Ryobi kick last year? Well, Ryobi days came and went without my input, and I didn't buy a single thing.
Oh, I missed it?
Yeah, Ryobi days are gone.
I was gonna get some stuff this year.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Was that a thing?
It's like what do you mean you know about Ryobi days? What are you talking about?
How do you spell it?
Ryobi. What?
Now, we're not sponsored by Ryobi for anyone out there, but if we were.
That just happens to be the brand of tools that Mark and I both have for some reason.
Because they're cheap and they're not from Lowe's.
I found a Ryobi casino.
Anyway, they're coming out with this new line of like smaller tools with like little USB batteries. And one of them's a foam cutter. And I'm like, I do nothing that needs foam cutting, but the idea of a portable handheld foam cutter, I'm like, yes.
Like a hot wire foam cutter type thing?
With all kinds of tools. You got your span wire cutter, you get your poke wire cutter.
Sure.
You got all those. And then even in that section, in the small the USB section, addition, they've got like a hand Dremel that's like portable, cordless. The idea being these are like cordless tools. You got your power cutter. The power cutter would be great, or the foam cutter would be great. They got the magnifying glass.
A magnifying? How is it powered? What powers?
Light.
Oh, okay.
You got a hand inflator.
You hold it up and it's just glass. You turn it on and it's all whoop, magnified.
Here's the crazy thing that I'm like, I already have a Ryobi soldering kit, like a soldering gun. If they have a cordless one, that's just battery, and it's like,
I can solder anywhere.
I could solder in my attic. I could solder in a tree. I could solder by the bees.
You could solder off your knee.
I could solder, yeah. Well, the battery probably won't last that long. Anyway, it came and went, and you could use a foam cutter.
Yeah. You want my address? You can send one.
So it can sit in a box on the floor of your office for the next 6 years?
Oh. Come on, oh mighty Markiplier. You know and Friends can't survive without you and your coin purse. Fill us, Daddy, with your Ryobi.
You heard us say it. You don't have to pretend like you're reading it. You heard us say it out loud a bunch. I mean, if you were reading it, that's absolutely a fair...
I'm just an and friend. I need no sympathy because I'm easy come, easy go. Little high, little low.
What are we, NPCs now? Gang gang.
I used to be a podcast host like you.
Wait, do you have any idea what Bob is talking about right now?
How out of touch are you, Wade? Well, that's not even fair. How chronically online are we, Wade? That's the question.
Ice cream. What's a WoW reference?
Ice cream, so good. Gang gang, gang gang.
That's from the Lich King.
Sure, probably. It's old. It's classic at this point.
Like Wrath of the Lich King? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I remember the final battle when the Lich King came down from the throne in Ice Crown Citadel. Gang gang.
The Lich King came out and was like, cowboy hat, thanks partner. Gang gang, gang gang.
I figured there's at least a 50% chance that it was a reference you two knew it was WoW, so
well, since when do I know things about WoW? Mark does.
Hence why I went for Lich King, because it's old.
I've played WoW so little that I don't even think I finished the Lich King content when I was doing the playthrough from beginning to current. Anyway, it's TikTok update, Wade. You gotta watch TikTok. You're missing out on the NPC craze. It's just really...
Oh, now I don't feel bad at all for not knowing if it's fucking TikTok.
How do we even explain this?
It's not that hard to explain. It's hard to explain why it's popular, I think, but it's not hard to explain what it is. Do you want to know what it is, Wade?
Yeah, if you can explain it like succinctly, please do for Wade.
So on TikTok, when you're live, you use that thing, was that Snap Filter, where you could like put hats on yourself or masks or whatever. So on TikTok, when you're live, people can send you money, essentially. It's like bits on Twitch, kind of. It's in platform. They buy a thing and they send it to you through TikTok. And some of them are just like a little rose in chat or something like that. But some of them are like an ice cream cone appears in front of your face, or a cowboy hat shows up on your head, or whatever. And what's the name? Piggy doll?
I have no idea.
There's a specific creator that has become incredibly famous for doing what's called NPC content, where she just goes live and all she does is respond in the exact same way every time to people giving her money. So they send her an ice cream cone and it pops up on screen and she goes, ice cream so good, or some shit like that. And each different thing you can send, she has an NPC type response for. So it's just her sitting there going, gang gang, gang gang, ice cream so good. Ooh, cowboy hat, thank you. That's it. She doesn't...
The consistency is what makes it so... I'm not saying captivating, because it's not captivating to me.
It's like hypnotic in like a weird way.
Yeah, it's hypnotic. It's just like, you could fall into a rhythm of like, wow, that's... What? Then you just kind of keep doing that. It's like, it's not a car crash style looking at something, but it's just like, because it's not a disaster, but also it's just like...
It's like annoying, but also like it keeps you like, oh, okay. Like, it's weird. It's very weird. Also, my favorite clips I've seen of that, though, I've never actually watched her live. I've seen a bunch of clips. My favorite is when she just streams like in her kitchen or different, in her house. She has like a family, right? She has like a kid or kids or something. And there's a clip I've seen where she's all like, she's doing it. She's like, gang, whatever. Shut up! Don't do that! I'm busy! Stop doing that to the dog! gang, and it's like whoa, holy crap, what the hell? Like those are the things I think are the funniest, because she's clearly like, her kid is, teasing the dog or something, and it's like you're a real person, I forgot for 2 seconds, Jesus.
I don't know. I think I've seen that one. I think that's like a parody of it.
There are a lot of parodies of that, because that's one of the most like funny, jarring type of clips that she has.
There's like, it's crazy because when you get that level of memeability and the sharing happening and people copying it, because there's a lot of money in it. That's also, did you mention that, Bob? There's a lot of money in this.
She makes the most money by doing nothing but that. And there are a ton of people who have latched onto this trend who are also just making like every single thing. There's dozens of things like a second. All of that's just money. It's just people throwing money at her to get her to, and it's not even like, you would think some of it's like dirty or sexual potentially, right? Because that's kind of a thing on the internet. People could get creepy and give money to people to like buy foot pics or whatever. I mean, creepy is judgy, but it's not even like sexy or anything. It's just very mundane reactions to things that are happening. It's weird, but there's so much money in it.
Yeah, about $7,000 a day. I don't know if that's at the peak or if that's consistent, but it's a lot of money.
I gotta call timeout. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Bye, Wade.
He's gonna sign up for TikTok.
All right, Mark, what kind of handshake deal are we making here? What kind of bullshit? Do you want to make a deal that somehow usurps the piss pants? I will try and bait Wade into doing the "Oh Captain, my Captain, we both piss our pants" type thing. To try and end your tyrannical reign here that you've got going on.
Yeah. Okay.
But then there's some kind of deal where his piss pants doesn't count for some reason. Can we do that? Is that a thing we can do? Are there rules about this?
Yeah, maybe it's like two pants pissed cancel each other out or something like that. I don't know. I'm willing to make a deal. Because it's really Wade that I'm against at the moment. I'm really, you made the handshake deal that caused me so much pain and suffering.
That's true. That is true.
I feel like there's often situations where the blame is for some reason not placed on you when it's entirely your fault, but I don't feel like this one actually is.
It's really never my fault, really.
But if there's some way we could, listen, if you find a way to make the people on the subreddit realize how great I actually am and how much I deserve this, and how they're lucky that I'm taking over right now, then maybe I would consider some deal that would be advantageous to you in some way. But it's like I feel great. I feel like this is how things should be.
Look, maybe I'm just out for total numbers. What if we do something where you give me, at the end of the episode, you give me the win, but I'll just gift it back to you. So I'll take the number, but I'll give it back to you.
I'll think about it.
Sorry, getting a thing delivered and the guy needed help.
Not very good at his job, or
just had questions. We're getting like a dumpster to finish emptying out the old house so we can list it. There's like old doors and crap that people that owned it before left, and we're trying to empty it. So he was like, "Which house is yours?" And it's like, the one with the address we gave you.
Oh, those numbers really do mean a lot when you look at the address part. Do I put it on the grass? I mean, no.
The way he talked kind of reminded me, I don't know of which, it's not Full Metal Jacket military dude, but like one of the classic military guys that talk. Maybe it's like the bad guy from Avatar, like the
bad sergeant.
The sergeant guy with like the scar. I think the way he talked kind of reminded me of him, and it sounded like he had chewing tobacco and all in his mouth as he was like, "Sir, where you want this?" I don't know. I can't do a good impression of that man, but it reminded me of that man.
As far as I know, you sound exactly like him.
Yeah. You gotta meet this man.
Also, sorry to interrupt your ice cream. Nom nom nom.
I don't even remember what we were doing. Anyway, it's weird. I'm not even saying I don't like it or respect the hustle, but it's weird. It doesn't do it for me, but also I'm intrigued at how popular this stuff is. Very interesting.
It's like a less off-putting gamer girl bathwater type deal. It's like, it's not where you're buying someone's thing, but it's like one of those, like, that's a weird simple thing that's oddly successful and I don't understand it, and yet
I think the gamer girl bathwater is way less confusing why it's successful. I think
I don't know, I think the NPC makes more sense to me than buying water.
I think lots of people online have a little bit of money and are into whatever they're into.
I guess that's true. And just know I do internally judge all of them.
Is this enough to get you to get on TikTok, Wade?
I'm on TikTok. I make TikTok.
Ooh.
What?
And by that, I mean Dana does.
You have a TikTok?
Yeah, I think.
Do you?
We've been posting on there, yeah. Well, we've been posting some. We've started.
I thought you didn't have one. I didn't even. What's your name?
The Minion 777.
Oh, of
the
course
Minion.
it is.
I've got 2 TikToks.
Oh, apparently we're friends. Oh, you follow me, but I don't follow you. Oh wait, no, that's not you. There's one that looks way more like you that's not you.
I don't know why it's a sunglasses picture of me, but that's the one I have.
Wow, look at this guy.
This is hilarious just because some people, you know, they have social media managers and, you know, they have like a company or like a team that runs their socials. Wade doesn't even know that he has a team running his socials for him. Like this mysterious account got made for you.
I don't remember how it got made. I don't remember if I did it or if Dana did it.
What?
I think that one of my friends, I think like JP or somebody pressured me. They were like visiting. They were like, I won't leave your house till you make a TikTok. And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. Fine. Here, I made one. Now leave. I feel like that's how it got made. And then Dana was like, well, we can actually post to it. And I was like, fine. You want to post a highlight or something? Go for it.
See, this is my thing why I don't do a lot of social media. It's not because I'm like, oh, I hate this platform. It's because if I'm not going to be able to do the platform with any kind of like actual enjoyment out of it, if I don't enjoy using it, then I'm like, I'm not going to post out of obligation for something. So I get what you're saying there, Wade. Is like, if you don't care about it, like, why have one in the first place? Because a lot of people are just of the mind like, oh, you got to post on this platform to maximize your exposure. And I'm like, what is the point of that? Like, what is the point of constantly chasing stuff like that? Because it just doesn't mean anything. But if you like it, a lot of people out there on TikTok really enjoy the process of making stuff on there. If I didn't have these other projects that I was doing and I enjoyed TikTok and using it and actually posting on it, I would a lot more. But the desire to make a shitty TikTok, which is all my TikToks actually are, even from the very beginning, before when it was Musically, I made just literally it made me laugh to do the Shrek 2, I need a hero, and just like mouth to that because I can't remember who was there, but it was just like some restaurants, like someone was just like, you gotta make a Musically, and I'm like, all right, I guess.
Shrek 2? That was in Short Circuit first.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about the Shrek 2 version of it.
Oh, okay. Just I see people talk about like, I love that song. I need a hero from Shrek 2. And it's like, no, it was Short Circuit first. It was Bonnie Tyler all the time. Stop.
Well, I don't know, but I knew it wasn't from there. I just like, that's what I found, the Shrek 2 version of it. And the reason that I did that one is because my mom really loves Shrek 2. My mom, I don't know if still to this day, but there was a time when I was living at my mom's house way back when that she would watch Shrek 2 every day. Every day.
That's commitment.
She would
That's
put
a
Shrek
lot.
2 on, and so it'd always be in the background. At some point in the movie, I would walk into the living room and it'd be playing, and she'd be watching it or passively watching it. It was just like what she did. And so every time at the end, it would come up, I need a hero! You know, and I'd just be like, you know, in the kitchen making, I need a hero.
Every day is a lot. Listen, I have been very into things, but I don't know if I've ever gone every day with anything quite like that. That's very dedicated.
I've done it with songs. I've had a song like for like a week or two. It's been an earworm that like every day I'll listen to the song. But that's short form. A movie is commitment.
Yeah, it's things like that makes my mom's English so funny. Because she has like, you've listened to my mom. She has a really interesting way of speaking. She doesn't speak perfect English, but I think she speaks English perfectly, and there is a distinction there because she uses English in a way that you're immediately able to understand, and it's in creative combinations that you would never expect. Shrek is an example of that because she'll quote Shrek all the time in weird ways, and I don't think this is from Shrek, but it's part of her media consumption where she will be able to like get something to quotability. I don't remember why. And I don't remember the circumstances, and I don't remember what it was, but we were FaceTiming, and for some reason she did a line in a southern accent or something like that. For a brief window of time, my mom spoke in a perfect southern accent, Korean accent gone. Perfectly southern. It jump scared me with the intensity and perfection of that accent because my mom does not speak like that, but that's just how she consumes media. And it was suddenly the southern drawl came out of my mom, and it was just like, what in the hell happened?
I cannot picture your mom doing that.
I know, it was startling, and it stunned me so much. I wasn't even able to like stop her and be like, what just happened? It was just like, I thought another person was in a room talking for some reason. But yeah, it's very strange. I don't know how we got started talking about this, but Anyway, that's enough small talk. Back to the subject at hand, which is obviously the topics which interest me for the latest period of time in between the last ones. The biggest talk is actually when I talk about my life. Latest adventures that I've been pursuing is chip design. So as we all know, semiconductors are a very prominent field and are expanding rapidly. And I often wonder,
I'm just nodding along. Yep.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yep, I'm with you. Yep.
I'm wondering, in the era of chip design, we've talked about it before, where like chip designs are so advanced that you can't actually like make them on a minute level. And you have to like create, software that basically bulk orders like, okay, we've basically established this system works. And I'm like, how do you even get into that field? So I was looking it up and, it's actually very interesting. Even to get started in an entry level position, it's like you require a master's degree because the field is advancing so quickly. You got your ultraviolet lithography in terms of like getting down to the angstrom levels of. Wait, are you listening to Shakira?
No, I love listening to anthropomorphic lasers.
Go on. What else was I talking about?
The freckles on your body. Lay lo, lo, lay, lo, lay.
That's funny, but it's so weird. He did say lay lo lo lay lo lay.
I did say that. That's so strange. All right, I guess you were paying attention. That's
You need to have a master's degree to get into the lay lo lo lay lo lay.
All right, fine. I guess if that's not interesting enough for you guys.
I was there. I'm with you. Move on, though. Move on? Okay, all right. Well, okay, so Solidigm is releasing a new hard drive. It's the D5336 60 terabyte NVMe SSD. It's actually quite an impressive feat to be able to get an SSD of that size, but also it seeseems like the price is going to be alarmingly competitive for How big is that? Does that fit into a normal like M.2 NVMe?
No, it's not an M.2. It's a U.2, so it's about the same size as a SATA SSD, right? So,
interesting.
But it's instead of 7.5 millimeters thick, I think it's 15 millimeters thick, so just slightly thicker.
Is that a PCIe then, or how does that interface?
U.2.
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
So basically, U.2, there's SATA, which is like there's a SATA power and then a SATA connector, right? And so that in the form factor that is, it's like in the same little thing. What U.2 did is it actually connected those two and created more interfaces so that it could plug into roughly the same equivalency. And so it's kind of made it so that it was backwards compatible with SATA, but U.2 cannot be plugged into SATA, but SATA could be plugged into U.2. And then there's U.3, which is even faster than that. And all these are basically the same thing. M.2 is another form factor of this same kind of idea, but for a more compact thing.
So a U.2 has a similar bandwidth to an M2 type of drive, or is
they're all PCI Express, so that's NVMe is non-volatile memory express. So it's all based on PCI Express like bandwidth slots. See, wait, are you listening to Shakira again?
Oh, I don't need to take off my headphone.
Why do you gotta lift your earphone to listen to me? I'm in the earphone.
I forgot you weren't in the same room. It just felt like you were right here telling me about the SATA cables and PCI U.3s and 2s and how they interface.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
He is getting it.
He's getting it.
This actually is interesting just because that's an unbelievably large hard drive.
That is thick.
No, it's actually quite thin.
It's thick compared to normal hard drive, but like that's very thin for what it is.
Yeah, so it's like 60 terabytes in this package is like a really cool thing.
Oh, 6D terabytes?
60,
yes.
yeah.
That's pretty thin for that much.
Yeah, it's coming out soon, and the crazy thing is, and this is going to sound crazy for the price. 60 terabytes of SSD speeds, like that's 7 gigabytes a second reading, like 5 gigabytes a second writing, hugely fast speeds for 60 terabytes for about like maybe it's going to be like 3,500.
That's way less than I would have guessed.
I was thinking 4,000 would be like about equivalent if you bought a bunch of 10 terabyte. These are SSD?
Yeah, SSD.
Yeah, even if you bought 60 terabytes of normal disk, or I mean they're cheap now, but if you want like high RPM, like 7,200 RPM disks, that's not terrible.
It's like per terabyte, it's like 2.5 to 3 times more expensive, but for 10, 20 times the speed is and density of like data is like incredibly better.
I mean, I remember when a terabyte SSD, not even an NVMe format, but like the old style SSD SSD drives. It's like $800 or $1,000 for like a terabyte or 2 terabyte. You know, over the last decade, that's like a big price decrease, even though it's a lot for a hard drive. But
And now you can get a 1 terabyte NVMe, an M.2 for $40.
yeah, no, they're so cheap that you might as well get them, because unless you need some obscene amount of storage space. Interesting. Very interesting.
See, it is! And this is why things like, I don't like what Apple does, because they charge to get 1 terabyte more in their computers is like another $200. And we all know 1 terabyte is only of SSD is $40.
That's an Apple terabyte, which is Tim Cook kisses all of those on the cheek before they go in the...
Right, of course.
So that's where the extra cost is from. Tim Cook's time is very valuable. Mr. Apple himself has a lot he could be doing.
I thought his name was Mr. Apple. Who's this Cook guy?
I have very fair and unbiased opinions about technology, and I have my finger on the pulse of what the people want.
Yeah, no, the subreddit is gonna love this conversation.
They're gonna love this conversation.
Wait, I know he's the host, but do we need him? Can we start like a separate? Can we mute him? Is that possible? I guess I have control. Can I mute you?
I was gonna say you're at the helm.
What would happen if I did this?
No, I say.
Hey! Hey, it worked!
The kisses like a fountain, lucky that my breast was small and home.
Okay, well, if he's just gonna sing shit, I'll unmute you, Mark.
Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, yeah, you must have been cutting out.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I wonder, maybe you should be nicer to me, Mark. Not Wade for any reason, but suddenly I have so much power in this room.
I also can do that. I saw a mute button and it did not give me more options than me.
I mean, muting yourself is certainly some level of power, but I don't know if that's going to intimidate Mark or anything.
What, do you not want the technology talk?
You know what? The 60 terabyte thing, that was interesting to me. That is interesting. What else you got? I feel like we talked about that. What else you got? What's next?
All right, well,
Mr. Topics.
I don't have anything to talk, but why are you being combative? I'm the host.
Mr. Walk on Me, I'm the walkway. Lead me to the building. Fuck you.
I'm what?
Have you guys ever seen that? Have you ever seen that old internet meme? The guy's like, who are you, Mr. Walkway? Mr. Walk on Me in the walkway? Lead me to the building. Fuck you.
No.
It's like this is like a got emailed around type of like meme thing, but this was, there's a whole thing. What is that called?
Two Toes Johnny?
Who put all these chairs here? Whose chairs are these? These aren't my chairs. I can't remember what, subreddit, help. Oh, that's not gonna help.
Subreddit, help.
If you like Google like Mr. Walk on Me, I'm the walkway, I'm sure it would come up.
I'm not going to do that, because if you don't want to hear about the technological advances and whatever have you.
Drinking out of cups. That's what it's called.
I have a bottle.
I will say, in all honesty, I am so curious, like, how many other people out there, if it's just like an ADHD thing where I'll look into something like, okay, this is, for example, everyone listening, hold with me. Like with chip design. What is playing?
What?
Are you also listening to Shakira?
Are you okay?
A video was just autoplaying, I think, for some reason. I don't know why.
I thought I was like, Cher, I'm not doing nothing.
I have no idea. Anyway, don't know what that was. But it's this weird thing where I'll get curious about something, whether it's technology or something, and I'll be like, chip design, what is that? And then suddenly I have so much desire to commit my entire life, to change my entire trajectory, to understand and be like, I don't even have a passion for chip design or anything. It was a mild curiosity, and suddenly I'm like, what if I went back to school and got a master's degree in chip design?
Maybe start with your bachelor's, dude.
Oh, whoa.
Air horn sound effects.
Mute him right now.
Put the air horns right here.
Yeah, for everyone listening, he pulled up his green screen and pointed to it and asked Will to put air horns in the green screen, which just shows how much he has an understanding of editing, which is good. Which is a good understanding.
Thank you.
Anyway, what is that? What is that about? Like, I mean, I know I haven't been able to get like a prescription for a very long time now. I've been without medication for quite some time, so it's been a little bit exacerbated.
I mean, that's like hyperfixation, right? I mean, that's what that is.
I think, yeah, something like that.
You go a lot more intense than I do. I think the thing for me is I have to be kind of interested in it. And so there are things that I come back to, but the one that's the most concerning to me, every time I've watched Breaking Bad from start to finish a couple times. It's a good show. It's entertaining. It's kind of dark, kind of depressing, but there's a point when I'm watching through that show, there's always a point where I'm watching. It's usually around the time where they get the big lab that's in like the laundry place, you know, it's in the laundry where all the industrial laundry machines and stuff.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, that's good money. And it seems so easy. Like I didn't study chemistry a lot, but I have a knack for science. I could probably get a handle on cooking up some crystal meth. Wouldn't that just be, what if I did that? What if I became a drug?
No, that's exactly what I do, except with the weirdest thing like chip design. I'm like, what if I looked up what the software that everyone uses? What if I just look it up? And then, Google has a program where they'll print your chip designs for you if you just want to get into it because they're trying to get more people involved. I'm like, that could be.
Yeah, but yours is like fine and mine is like not good. And it's not like I go and Google like, how do I cook blue meth? But like, I just have, that definitely happens to me, but it's with way less good stuff.
I mean, I used to watch like Dexter and think like, dude, if I was trying to hide a body, I wouldn't have done it that way. Clearly, you should have like, Jesus, man, are you even thinking about how to dispose of it properly? Put some effort in, Dex.
There are definitely some moments in Dexter too where certain like villains that come up over the seasons and stuff where he finally succeeds and like takes them out or whatever, and you're kind of like, he's right. I think he's onto something. Like, wait a minute.
I with Dexter, I used to watch that show like as it was coming out, and I really, you don't notice until later, but you really notice like how off the rails it starts to go, because I know that show like came back for like one season to like finish it off. But I really did think it was very strange. By the time they got to like these flashbacks where the two main characters were playing themselves as their teenage self, and you see Michael C. Hall with like this weird wig and like, I'm a teenager. I'm like, he's in his mid-30s, isn't he? This isn't working. You could hire someone who looked like him, I thought. It was just like, and not to discredit Michael C. Hall for doing that. Like, if the showrunner says you do it, I guess you got to do it. If the director's like, put out this wig, you're a teenager now. I guess you gotta, but it's just like getting really weird. And then like, I don't know, that show just like started to derail. So I think the murder became like the least strange part of it.
I don't know why that reminded me of a bit we did. I give Tyler a hard time for this all the time. When we were doing the You're Welcome tour, there was a day in the life that we were doing where we interviewed somebody. We were like doing improv based on their life. I came out and I was very obviously trying to portray like a mom figure. And I was like, oh, you need to clean up your toys or do this and do that. And no, I was being the baby. I had like my blankie and I had like my thumb and I was like putting my thumb in my mouth and I was walking around like, and Tyler goes, okay, mom. And I was like, that's right, sweetie. And having to like switch from like the child mannerisms to being an adult doing them. That's what the Michael C. Hall thing reminded me of for some reason, was where Tyler, I don't know if he no-butted, but he side-railed me from kid to mom.
You know that graph that's like the 1% people that are dumb, it's like the IQ graph, right? It's like but on the opposite ends of the graph, both the dumbest and the smartest people have the same opinions, because that's hilarious. But it's like, I don't think that Tyler was doing it over in the masterful highest IQ version of it. I think he wandered really in and made a mistake, but it's still really hilarious to put you in that situation. So I find that.
Yeah, I was trying to portray like carrying my blankie, thumb in hand. He called me mom, and I was like, thank God I led this scene off with my idea. I'll just switch it real quick mid-scene. That kind of shit happens. You have to roll with it. I mean, mistakes happen in improv all the time. But that was one for some reason I remember sticking out with me, because I remember being like a deer in headlights, where it was like, how does baby become mom? What does scene become now? At least Michael C. Hall, I guess, had a script and got to practice being a teenager version of himself.
Didn't help.
Yeah.
Damn. Air horns, Will! Air horns!
You can't practice looking younger.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Why don't you think next time, Wade? 0 points for you.
Oh, yeah. Points and stuff.
Yeah, Bob, you get 0 points. Speaking of dumping bodies in the ocean, I guess I got news articles if that's more up your guys' speed, if you don't want to hear
that's
about it.
That's way more interesting, yeah.
Oh, yeah, please.
But I didn't even come up with them.
Even better.
Probably why it's better.
Points?
No points. 0 points, actually.
Mark, I love your news articles already. I love them so much.
All right, 0 points. Okay.
I would lick your elbow.
0 what?
I love your boar spear. I love that.
That's 0 points. 0 points.
Your big girthy spear in the
Zero,
background.
0 points.
Kind of blurry.
0.
What about Apple versus Mac? Wait, Apple versus...
No. Hearse found with 675 kilograms of chemicals used to make methamphetamines.
There you go, Bob. You can start your career.
Hearse or purse?
A hearse, like a funeral hearse for a coffin.
But I know there are different kinds, but the kind of hearse I always imagine is like a station wagon kind of vehicle, except it's got glass all in the back, so you can see the coffin inside, right? It's like a thing. It's ceremonial. I just imagine a big like van station wagon, but it's got all glass windows in the back, piled high with chemicals for meth cooking.
And Walter White standing there naked in the back of the hearse cooking while they drive.
The guy gets pulled over and he's like, "What seems to be the problem, officer?" The guy's like, "Oh, no, I'm just moving a body for the mortuary. It's fine." And the cop is like,
Their final wish was to be made into meth. What can I say?
"Listen, it's just a really cool avant-garde casket that looks like a pile of chemicals."
It's so funny because like this news article is just a very general news article, but I started reading it and I thought I was having a stroke midway through. Let me just read you the first few sentences. A hearse loaded with 675 kilograms of drug raw materials for drug manufacturing was intercepted in May on the A77 highway near Bugen, Noord-Brabant. According to the Brabants Dagblad on Tuesday, the two occupants of the car from Rotterdam. The court in Den Bosch decided that the 38-year-old driver would remain in pretrial detention while the 50-year-old passenger was allowed to remain free for the time being. So I don't know who's in this car, but they found it, according to the Omroep Brabant, reported on Tuesday they were suspicious on the A15 highway between Rotterdam and Nijmegen because of its unusually low position. So that was two different highways I've never heard of, and like two different newspapers that are different that reported this.
I know a lot about Kentucky, but I've never heard of those two parts of it.
The A77 near Bugen Noord-Brabant and the Brabants Dagblad and Omroep Brabant.
You okay?
That's what it says. It's just the funeral home in Hoogvliet. Where is this?
It's like it's in like Denmark or something. Where's Rotterdam? Isn't Rotterdam in?
This is like 3 different cities with different names.
Rotterdam is in the Netherlands, right? Amsterdam, Rotterdam, other dam.
It is a city in the Netherlands.
There's a gas station in Bugen, and they found it's weird that the chemical names are the most comprehensible thing. So BMK is known as benzyl methyl ketone or phenylacetone.
Phenylacetone, they used that on Breaking Bad.
Ah, there you go.
These guys had the same idea I did.
So we could either have that kind of discussion with that article, which was written by the Netherlands Times.
Okay, well, that would be so. What the thing that's going on there, Mark, if you recall when we spent some time in the Berg, is they speak another language there, possibly French, maybe Dutch, unclear.
This is written in English, so I don't think so.
But all the names are clearly Dutch things. Bugen and all that other stuff you said. I'm sure that they make a lot more sense in Dutch.
Ah, okay, all right then. But we could either talk about that, or we could talk about more technological things that are occurring in the world around us.
Which one would give me points to agree with you on?
None of them.
How do we get points?
You don't.
Why would I stay?
You can leave.
Really?
Don't. Please.
I
I can't believe I'm stuck here with just fucking Shakira listening to us.
Oh, I keep taking off my headphones. I'm here for you, buddy. Can I have points?
All right, fine, Wade. I'll read you a story. Unless you want a handshake deal.
Okay, I fell for that one, and it did not get me anything. So, no, read away, buddy.
All right, fine then. I'll just get another freaking story here. Oh, Bob, good. You're back. Oh, just in time for the next story.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, South Florida search for cold case cars lead divers to dozens of submerged vehicles. Quote, "It just so happened to have 32 cars in it," Bishop said, clarifying his team recovered no human remains from the lake and was not able to connect any of the vehicles to cases that the United Search Corps were even looking for.
Bishop is a city in California, so this must be in California.
South Florida.
South Florida, I don't know if that's in California.
That's a lot of cars in a lake.
So, yeah, they were looking for cars because there were cold cases that needed cars, and they happened to find a lake with 32 cars in it. Not one of them were the cars they were looking for.
32 people are going to be really happy their car got found.
I guess I struggle to imagine a reason or a way that a car ends up in a lake that's not somehow like the thing the police are looking for. It seems like those are probably still pretty valuable. They just looked, they went down there and like checked the VIN number and the license plate, and they're like, no, nothing's tied to this one.
You know how goats eat like metal and stuff?
Do goats eat metal?
I think they can,
I think they can. I don't know if they choose to a lot, but sure.
There was a house, like a cabin where my grandparents had a summer house, like a few streets away. And there was a guy that had a whole bunch of old broken down, like rust cars, and all he had in the yard other than the broken down cars were goats. And I'm pretty sure he was trying to get them to break down the cars, but like he would accumulate more and more of these broken down cars in his yard. I mean, he had like 20 broken down cars.
What makes you think he was trying to get the goats to eat them?
Because we always wondered why this man would accumulate more. He had like a little mobile home. It was pretty small with a couch outside and then just stacks of broken down cars everywhere. And then one day it was all just gone.
And you think the goats ate them?
No, I think he wanted the goats to break down the cars. They didn't, and eventually the police swooped in and cleared out the place.
Why did the police swoop in? Did the goats call the police?
Did you see cop cars?
No, this is my brain making obvious connections, Mark. Can't you see it? Here, let me show you.
Don't do that to Will. Don't do that to Will.
You know, Will can always just leave it green and make me look like an asshole. That's always an option.
I think he does, probably.
He probably does. But, you know, this is revenge for putting me in a fucking public restroom. So, little house.
Mm-hmm.
Car. Goat. And then one day, all green. Just gone.
Can you point at your green screen and go like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that"?
No, what you should definitely put out there in the world is a video of you pointing at a green screen going, "This, I love this. This is awesome."
I don't want ads to be made for me again. Don't buy this product.
This thing right here, fuck this thing.
Yeah, do that.
This right here, fuck this thing.
That's good.
Will, take a picture of Wade and then put him on the green screen.
This right here, fuck this thing.
Got him.
Anyway, they might have been putting them in the water because they didn't have goats.
All right, well, that's a terrible theory.
I don't think the goats break down the cars. I gotta be honest. I don't think that's the relationship there.
Clearly not, because they got busted for all of the probably murder. I'm extrapolating a lot here.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of leaps.
Speaking of a lot of leaps, flying aliens harassing village in Peru are actually illegal miners with jetpacks, cops say.
Where is Peru? Peru, a city in Indiana.
Probably. That's probably it. I think this article is glossing over how easy it thinks it is to get jetpacks even now in today's world. I know that they exist. There's totally a thing you can get that is basically a personal jetpack where you can fly around, but they're not just like on the shelf at Target, except in Peru, whatever the equivalent store might be.
Well, I've been there, so I don't know for sure.
Nah, it's real.
You're extrapolating a lot, Bob.
This is a Vice article. Vice is reporting. They got a photo of aliens from Getty Images with aliens in them.
Oh, okay. Well, Getty Images are all real, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. They say these gentlemen are aliens. They seem armored like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
Willem Dafoe's invading Peru.
No, that would be some terrifying shit.
Just a whole bunch of Willem Dafoes like swooping down.
Green Goblin Willem Dafoe swoops in and he hops off and he turns into one of those the Saints Boondocks guy, and he just hops around and he goes, "There was a firefight." and starts having a whole thing. Yeah, no,
Yep.
that would be awful. I don't want that happening in my house.
Well, apparently there was a firefight because he said, I have shot one twice and it didn't fall. Instead, it elevated and disappeared. We're frightened by what's happening in the community.
Is this article implying that like the people who live in this village were like, oh my God, it's aliens. What the shit? Oh, and some person came in and was like, guys, it's not aliens. Don't. It's people. They just have this technology. They're just flying, and the people in the village are like, so it's aliens.
I don't even know if any of this is legit. It is strange that the more credible answer that they want people to believe is that there's miners, like Tink miners, illegal miners with jetpacks. That's more logical.
Is it miners Tink or miners like this?
Tink. I mean, I guess they could be miners. I don't know.
If they were miners age-wise, they'd be lighter weight and thus easier to lift into the air with jet propulsion in the form of a backpack.
But they don't need to go mining those floating gold outcrops. So clearly it has to be the miners Tink.
I think you're onto something though, Mark. Why exactly would miners have jetpacks? Why is that the thing?
And I don't think that Peru is the jetpack capital of the world, and I don't think anyone's illegally entering Peru to test out their jetpack technology and also mining. It's just, it don't add up.
Maybe, you know what it is? It's aliens. That's it. This is just a poorly constructed cover-up. Some guy at the Alien Cover-Up Bureau was like, another one. Just get ChatGPT to write this one for us, okay? Just get some AI stuff and just put that, and the AI was like, oh, it's miners with jetpacks just flying around with their pickaxes and their hats with little candles on them. And the guy's like, yeah, whatever, no one fucking cares. I hate this job.
There are multiple outlets that are really committed to them being just like part of a mining cartel with jetpacks.
Mining cartel? Is this gang activity? Because a gang having jetpacks, I believe a little bit more.
In Peru, these jetpack flying gold cartels hope to inspire fear with their bizarre campaign of alien terror. This is from Vanguard. I don't know if that's a trustworthy news site, but the one I've got.
Interesting. I'm here urinating.
And the jetpacks are used to prospect for gold deep in the unforgiving jungles of Peru.
This sounds so much like the burls in the redwood forest. Like the cartel that are looking for just these burls of redwood. But there's like, they have this technology. Like, remember that badass article was like the cop burst down the door. The guy's like, you're too late. You'll never take me alive. I'll die for these burls. But the gold makes more sense. Like, that actually does make sense.
Maybe they're literally, this gang saw the old animated movie El Dorado and or heard any of the very real legends of the city of El Dorado, the city of gold. And they were like, all right, boys, you know what we need? We're going to find El Dorado. You know how we do it? We make it so much easier on ourselves? Jetpacks. A city of gold will be so shiny and obviously visible from above, it basically finds itself. That must be it.
Are there really just like functional, easy to access jetpacks right now? Is that a thing that people can get?
I was unaware that they were easy to get, and I don't believe that that's the case, but there are absolutely functional jetpacks where you literally strap it on and there's like thrusters you put on your arms and you could just fly.
Yeah. But
it's not at all like Iron Man. It's way more like Iron Man when he's escaping from the cave at the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah. And it's just as easy to do his crash landing in the desert, except not in the desert, into like a tree or like a mountain. Or if you're doing that in a mine, like if you're a miner and you're jetpacking in the mine, I feel like that's...
Oh, you're the guy with the jetpack. All the guys around you are just like pickaxing away. Like, do you have to leave that on? You're not even flying. The canary's dead.
All right, well, we've really chewed up the time, and I feel like we didn't get to nearly enough of the topics of concern that I had.
I got to 3 questions in my episode, so like...
How many points do I get, Mark?
None, because it was my story.
But I added a lot to it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, because this isn't I never said anything about there being points at all.
You don't have to say that. That's part of the basic premise that's always presumed going into this. You don't have to say anything.
No.
Remember Markiplier and Points?
No, Markiplier and Friends. You guys have been awarded exposure. You guys get exposure for being a part of this wonderful podcast that I've established.
You didn't even say our names. I don't know what kind of exposure we got.
Well, if you didn't say your own names, then how good are you at exposing yourself?
I would never expose myself.
Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this wonderful inaugural episode of Markiplier and Friends. It's been
Who won?
Yeah, who wins, Mark? One of us two must win, right? That's how this works.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
No.
You gave yourself the win last time. You can't.
We've been doing this for 2.5 years. I'm pretty sure I remember how it works.
Oh, no.
Well, let's see where it goes. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. Anyway.
Maybe you got some kind of surprise twist ending, huh?
Yep. Surprise. Big surprise. Congratulations to me for doing a wonderful job hosting. If you have to call it a winner, I guess I am. I remember in the last episode declaring thus begins the era of Mark. And the era of Mark does not stop for anyone, and this train doesn't stop for anything.
Mark is pretty short, so I assumed it would be a short era.
Well, that's really hilarious. Will, please strike him with a lightning bolt.
Ah.
There, hit him again.
Oh, no.
Can you go like this? Can you go like, There we go. Yeah, hit him again. Hit him again.
Oh, no.
At least I gave you a green screen, Will. You're welcome.
I got a pile of trash behind me. What do you want, man? There's a green box right here. Chroma that, Will. Chroma that.
You can chroma, any color. You could chroma the...
I know, but I'm as pale as my white walls, so there's not a lot to work with
Chroma the
here.
white!
I have nipples, Greg. Can you chroma me?
Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Look forward to another great episode of Markiplier and Friends coming at you hot and fast. I can't wait to read all of the wonderful glowing things on the subreddit. Anyone that says anything otherwise will be banned forever. And I can't wait to talk more about why the new and upcoming M3 chip from Apple might be the greatest thing to ever grace this beautiful planet of ours.
Are you really doing this?
Why wouldn't I? It's only fair. I am the host, and the host gets to do whatever they want.
I think if you think it's so fair, you should use the triangle of fairness. And I think before you do anything rash, you should remember that using the triangle of fairness in vain is quite the dangerous activity.
I thank my friends for joining me and allowing me this wonderful victory, and I can't wait to bring more interesting and fascinating topics for us to consume in the very next episode. It'll be featured around so many amazing things that everyone loves to hear about because I'm saying them, and therefore it is something that's loved. All is fair that is fair, and it shall remain fair for all time. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see about your uppance, I guess, sir. We'll see about them. Perhaps they'll come.
Podcast out.